When one door closes, another opens. Welcome to the first episode of my new Florida Panthers franchise mode series right here on NHL 20. Today, we get this journey underway to bring the Stanley Cup back to the state of Florida. But the Lightning, well, despite a record-setting season and a humiliating playoff loss, they can kick rocks. I don't really care how well they're set up. It's time for this state to return back to the control of the original team to actually make the Cup Finals. They didn't win it in '96. But hey, they made it first. And they will make it back again. I hope. My luck in NHL 20 has been a little bit inconsistent, if I do say so myself. So obviously the start of this series was delayed a little bit. The other series weren't supposed to go as long. They did, but hey, we're here now. Of course, we are using my updated rosters. The link to the editing doc should be in the description below if you are not accustomed or familiar with that. Of course, there is no roster sharing, so hey, it's the best I can do for you for now. But I'm very intrigued to see what we can do. Now, obviously, this is our straightforward run as opposed to the Russian series that was uploaded alongside of this, which is, of course, more fantasy-based. The goal here in this series is simple. Win. Turn this team into a dynasty. And yeah, you might see some overalls that you disagree with, but you know what? That is what it is. Whether or not we can do that, I don't know. But the Panthers have a pretty damn interesting starting team to use, and I was looking for teams that I could use that had never won the Stanley Cup before. Of course, I wanted to go back to the Eastern Conference after we used San Jose in the first series for NHL 20. So we will see what we can do. Now, it is a slow and steady approach here for this first video. Won't be the longest video in the world. We'll probably sim up to the deadline. Right now, we have trades turned off for the AI, so that way the rosters pretty much stay the same. Couldn't really stop them from signing a couple of free agents, nobody major. Anybody in real life who does still have some potential, like Lamico and Sebastian Repo, who are both Panthers guys, and JFK, who of course is a Boston prospect in real life, but in this game, they just get dumped onto the free agent list. It's a pain in the ass. It is what it is. But the good thing is, for the most part, we're going to be able to keep the rosters the same, and we'll be able to see how things play out for us over the first half of this season. Player morale's on because I'm a sadist. Injuries are on because I'm a sadist. And again, the game plan, I think, here isn't to turn this team around overnight. We're not going to make wholesale changes. Kind of like that Sharks series where you could argue that's the reason why we didn't do well despite regular season success. But we're not going to immediately flip everybody on the team. And you have to factor in, too, pretty big free agency period up ahead of us as Dadonov and Hoffman are both up at the end of the year. But this is how the team is going to shape up to start this series. Huberdeau, Barkov, and Dadonov, solid top line. Hoffman, Trocheck, Connolly, Vetrano, Boyle, Malgin, Hunt, Achari, and Skeever. Hopefully Noel Achari can score some goals in this series like he's doing in real life. Holy hell. Defensively, it's Jan Ekblad, of course, Weegar and Strawman, Matheson, and Pysyk. It's not bad. It's a pretty solid top four. Technically, Matheson is a top four defenseman, so a decent abundance of players there. And then obviously, Bobrovsky had an 84. Some might say it's way too low. I'd argue he's not an elite goalie. He's more of a starter, and I think his numbers support that, and thus his role is what it is. The unfortunate thing here, and yes, I know it's technically $10 million, it should be, it auto-adjusts some cap numbers or some salaries, you can't do anything about it. That contract could be an albatross. The thing is, we are stuck with him until Spencer Knight is good to go. Hell, might even be, at the deadline, we're cruising. Maybe we use Spencer Knight to go out and get somebody else. I mean, in the system, yes, Owen Tippett is there. Sorella, of course, isn't too bad. Heponiemi, Borgstrom. We do have some strong prospects. Defensively, though, it's a little bit weak. It's not the worst starting team to pick in the world. Not at all. But it's still going to be somewhat of a challenge, I would say. We're listed as contenders. And just to take a quick look around the league, you have Anaheim as hopefuls, Arizona as contenders, and again, of course, these rosters are updated. Taylor Hall is there, Boston as champions, Buffalo listed as rebuilders, and you will see a team like Calgary listed as a rebuilder as well. That is mainly due to goaltending ratings being a little bit low. That status is very, very dependent on certain goaltending ratings. But again, this is up to date. You would have seen it right there on the trade block. Kovalchuk on Montreal, for example. So very happy to have this as up to date as possible and to see how this plays out. I actually haven't played franchise since the Kovalchuk move, so this will be the first time to see how Montreal manages to do in this series. But yeah, just a quick look so you can see how every team is established at this point. So with that, we're pretty much good to go. Everything that needed to be done in the background, that's already done, set up. We're going to be able to jump right into this series. And like I said, the purpose of this first episode is to see where this team is as we approach the deadline. Are we going to be pushing for a playoff spot? Are we in a top 3 spot? Are we winning the division? Are we absolutely terrible? How this team does leading up to February is going to determine, I would say, how we approach things, right? Pretty straightforward. And of course, I'm going to want your input too on what moves you think we should make once we see what's up. But of course, draft prospects, all this is updated. You know, again, all that information's on the editing doc as well. Some people, of course, will move around. Surprise Byfield is that low. But of course, the guys that EA have added in, there's a Mikhail, I mean, you could call him Mika Zibanejad. There are going to be some computer-generated guys as well. And of course, the guys that EA cannot add are also in at this point in time. So very, very intrigued with all the changes that I made at pretty much the quarter of the way, not really a third of the way through the season. Intrigued to see how that changes franchise mode compared to what we saw with San Jose. As Trocheck, buddy, I am already regretting having the morale on. But there we go. That at least worked out for us. I couldn't help. Oh, my sweet Jesus. You guys are second liners playing on the second line. Shut up. I couldn't help but have morale on because I was doing some tests. At the end of the day, you're going to see some crazy overall spikes, whether or not the morale system's on or not. So I figured, hey, why not annoy myself a little bit more and have the morale system be on? And thus, here we are. And I'm sure it's not going to be a pain in the ass when second line forwards complain about being on the second line. It's going to be fine. It's down to their personalities, I'm sure. I mean, come on, Mike Hoffman's not going to complain about ice time. He's just, you know what? No, that's an old joke. We're not getting into old jokes here. It's a new team, a new Mike. Hopefully, the girlfriend can stay out of drama, whether or not she did it or not. Her wife, I don't know is he married? Who knows? Anyway, oh, sweet Jesus, Mike, you're killing me. Persuade, you're doing fine. Oh, my sweet God, Mike. So this is good. Mike Hoffman is probably going to be traded because he is already a problem. Also, the Detroit Red Wings are in first place. So this should be a really fun experience. Let's take a look at Detroit, shall we? Let's just take a look at Detroit and see how they are looking right now. That is the Detroit team that is in first place in their division. That team with that goaltending tandem. Jonathan Bernier has a .923. Good God. Oh, God. You know, there are a lot of things that change about franchise mode, but in a way, the pure randomness of this all, it's beautiful. Oh, yep, there's Trocheck complaining just like Hoffman did. Let's see if you're going to continue to doubt yourself. Ah, yep, there you go. I don't think I can snap out of this. Not saying professional athletes can't have confidence issues, but Jesus Christ, you sound like me after a breakup. Come on. You're going to be okay. That's what I keep telling myself. Oh, boy. When Mike Hoffman and Vincent Trocheck remind you of a breakup. Good times. We are doing very well, which means, of course, Frank Vetrano immediately gets injured after that. But we've hit 20 wins on the year, and as it stands, we are atop the Atlantic Division. Not exactly what I was expecting, I gotta be honest. Paul Thompson was our healthy scratch. He actually scored a goal. Paul Thompson. Damn. You know, while we're here, let's take a look at the stats so I don't have to come back. So Jonathan Huberdeau, we do have him listed as a sniper over a playmaker. But still, he's more of a playmaker anyway. Pretty damn good numbers thus far, just under a point a game. Sasha Barkov is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Very good. Point a game. I like it. Plus 23. And Evgeny Dadonov, 30 points as well. So that top line doing pretty damn good. 22 points for Mike Hoffman, but he was complaining. I don't get that. Trocheck, 23 points is solid. 19 for Brett Connolly. We have set up as a power forward for the chemistry. 10 points for Vetrano, 11 for Boyle, 12 for Malgin, and 9 points for Dryden Hunt, 10 for Achari, 4 for Colton Skeever. Yeah, fourth line could probably be changed a little bit. 27 points for Yandel, 16 for Ekblad, 9 for Uyghur and a plus 6, 8 points for Strawman. I don't really have a complaint. I don't even know why the second liners are complaining. And Sergei Bobrovsky has a .919 save percentage. Chris Dreger has a .929. Yeah, it's on medium scoring, by the way. So that's pretty bizarre. I guess we just get to accept that for what it is. Fine by me. So as of January 1st, already into our first season, 27, 9, and 3. No real room to complain. Sasha Barkov leading this team in points. We have 2 games at hand on the Leafs, despite being 2 points above them. Everything's looking really good. Really good. And Ottawa is also killing it as of late. So we're still going to stick to the plan. We're going to skip to February. We are going to see, of course, how our team's doing, maybe what we could look to change, and maybe what we could look to add. Or the alternative is we could just keep computer trades off, keep the rosters as they are in real life, and just see what happens. Not totally against that, but 31 wins, we are absolutely killing it. So there's no doubt if we do decide that trade's a fair game out of the gates, this could be a very interesting series because who the hell knows what this team's going to be capable of in the playoffs at this point. Although, knowing my luck in NHL 20, we're going to make the playoffs and get swept in the first round. Everyone's favorite occurrence. So we're in first with games at hand as of February 1st. And I know it's... I don't know. I know it's kind of bizarre to be like, hey, we're in February of our first season already. But really no reason to take it slow with this particular deal. Going with the flow. If it feels right, it feels right. The Metro, it's Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and Blue Jackets that are in. Hurricanes are struggling, but not totally out of it. And again, back in the Atlantic, the only team that's really out of it is Ottawa. Detroit's fallen off significantly. Tampa is struggling, and they are in danger of being out of it. Detroit's probably out of it. In the Central, it's Minnesota, Dallas, and Chicago. St. Louis, Winnipeg, and Nashville, all terrible. They're always bad. They're always bad in the first-year franchise. And go figure, the San Jose Sharks are having a regular season success. The Oilers, though, are struggling, 29th in the league. So as it stands, top team right now in the NHL, the Florida Panthers. And in terms of point percentage, it's the Panthers, Wild, Stars, and Bruins. Damn. Not who I would have expected. The worst teams in the league, Nashville, Edmonton, Ottawa, Los Angeles, and St. Louis. Also, not what I would have expected. So a quick look at our team. I'll also give you a quick look around the league and what's going on there. But in terms of the top line, they're holding up their end of the bargain. Barkov's over a point a game, nearly over a point a game, or at least at a point a game for Dadonov and Huberdeau. Trocheck, it's not bad. He's going to break 50 points for his second liner. Hoffman, he's going to break 50 points for his second liner. And Conley, I have no complaints with the top six. I have no complaints with that third line. And I don't know, fourth line wise, Colton Skeever hasn't been that good. But in terms of point production, Achari and Hunt, have been fine. Defensively, I mean, Yandel and Ekblad is an absolutely insane pairing, and Uyghur and Strawman on the second pair is also tremendous. And then goaltending-wise, Bobrovsky at a .918 is pretty damn good. So maybe, especially for our sake, it might be worth just seeing what happens with this team, as Nathan MacKinnon is leading the way in points. Pasternak is right there with him. Radulov, Malkin, Marchand, Panarin, Bergeron, Kane, and Mikko Rantanen. Top of the list. Goal-scoring kings, Max Pacioretty, one of two alongside McKinnon to hit 30. Jack Eichel. I read that as Jordan Eberle. Jack Eichel's up there with 28 goals. Tarasenko. No real surprising names there outside of, I'd say, Patches and Parise. The assist king right now, David Pasternak. I don't know what it is. He's got that ridiculous shot. I guess it's because he's listed as a playmaker rather than a sniper. That would make sense. Defensively, what do we have? John Carlson, John Klingberg, and Keith Yandel leading the way. That sounds about right. There is a good chance that Yandel's going to be leading in goals. He is not. McAvoy is. Burns and Dumba also have 10 goals on the season next to Keith Yandel. Goaltending-wise, the winningest right now is Martin Jones. If only. John Gibson right now shaping up to be the Vezina winner, as is Martin Jones, Carey Price, Darcy Kemper's in there. Good God, the 920s. Whew, that Vezina race is close. And for the rookies, the race is close. Alex Nylander, Kaapo Kakko, and Jack Hughes are up there. Philip Zadina, though, 19 goals. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So, you've seen the team, how we've performed for the first half of the season. I don't know, I'm personally leaning towards just keeping trades off until this first offseason and just seeing how things go with these rosters and taking it from there. I mean, not putting a spin on this team until after the first year, seeing what we have to work with, or we turn trades on right now and we see what happens. But in terms of improving our team, I don't really know if there's too much that we have to do. So we're going to end it there. Again, not exactly the longest episode in the world, but that is okay. More of an introduction to what this series is going to be. Of course, make sure to check out the Russian Nation United episode that went up alongside this one, the beginning of our 2 new NHL 20 franchise mode series. If you're excited, even if you're not, drop a like. Help me out. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's make 2020 an interesting year, shall we? I hope. And if you're not subscribed already, feel free, because hopefully uploads for me, not that they were super inconsistent, but hopefully they're back on track if I can get my personal life together for all of 30 seconds. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Till then, have a good one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.